We have our quorum. The Board of Trustees of the Harris County Department of Education now convene in a board meeting on Wednesday, February 23rd in the boardroom at 6300 Irvington Boulevard at 1:13 p.m. I wish to extend warm welcome to everyone present in this meeting of Board of Trustees. As trustees, we are here to set goals, listen to the report from the superintendent, approve budgets, contracts, personnel appointments, and make policy for the district. It is not the role of the board to make day-to-day operational decisions. The management and day-to-day operations of the department are the responsibility of the superintendent. We have policies and procedures in place to resolve concerns and issues. This is a public meeting of the Board of Trustees, not a meeting of the public. Prior to this meeting, board members receive information related to items on today's agenda. Agenda items will not necessarily be handled in the order listed on the notice. This meeting is open to all who wish to attend and hear the matters discussed. During the course of this meeting, the board may determine that a closed session is necessary. In that event, the board will meet in a closed session to consider matters duly posted for this meeting as permitted by Section 551.071 to 551.084, inclusive of the Texas Governmental Code. I respectfully ask that you please refrain from talking while others are speaking and that cell phones are turned off or on the silent mode. Thank you for your time today and for joining us in your interest in the Harris County Department of Education. We will now go into an invocation by Laura Espinoza from Facilities, and right afterwards have the Pledge of Allegiance to the U.S. and the Texas flag by Bridget Bentley from Adult Education.
Lord, this meeting has occurred because we want to do good in our great communities. I pray that we do not grow weary while doing this good thing in order to achieve importance. I believe that you will guide us in this meeting so that the results can be seen days, months, and even years after today. We come expecting to make a mark on this earth that is significant, which we hope to attain with your guidance. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one under God, one and indivisible. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to agenda item number 4, the open forum. Public participation pursuant to policy BED. A citizen who wishes to speak may do so by completing a participation request card available at the boardroom at least 10 minutes prior to the regular board meeting. And I have been informed that nobody is here to address the board, so we will now move on to agenda item 7, reports and presentations. Moving to agenda item 5A, Employee of the Month. We will have our Executive Director of Human Resources, Natasha Truitt, explain who our Employee of the Month is.
Good afternoon. I'm thrilled to introduce our Employee of the Month for February. The Employee of the Month program is designed to encourage recognition of HCDE employees who willingly take initiative beyond regular assignments, demonstrate a high quality of work and commitment to completing duties, work as a team member, and uses creativity, innovation, and collaboration to enhance performance. When you mention Gregorio Rosales, our February Employee of the Month, you will hear an abundance of praise and compliments. Mr. Rosales works as a custodian at the North Post Oak office and has been with HCDE for nearly 23 years. His supervisor, Javier Lara, describes Mr. Rosales as being dedicated to his job, exemplifying a strong work ethic. Mr. Rosales is a role model for teamwork and collaboration, always seeking out his colleagues for feedback and finding ways to help the team complete their work on time and with the best outcome possible. Every day, Mr. Rosales shows how much he values HCDE and his work, often coming in early and staying late to complete tasks. He is facilities' go-to person to get work done and the person the division relies on to show the team how to do a job well, but also to do it in a way to positively impact the organizations and the programs served by HCDE. Mr. Rosales is constantly helping his colleagues improve their work, supporting their efforts, and brainstorming new ways to effectively provide high-quality services. When he notices a problem, he is very solutions-oriented, coming with an idea of how to impact the issue instead of just identifying a problem. For example, when he saw leaves in the parking lot at MPO that were making the property look unkept, he approached his supervisor about using new equipment to more effectively deal with the issue. He has also been known to use his spare time to repair equipment to save the division money. He is often one of the first to offer to help during inclement weather, offering to inspect and clean buildings to allow staff and students to return as quickly as possible. There were numerous examples provided to demonstrate Mr. Rosales' initiative and commitment to his work. But we don't have a lot of time to go through all of those, but we would like to share the video created by Communications that will give you an idea of the wonderful work done by this employee.
Mi trabajo es ser custodian y cualquier cosa que yo pueda hacer y que me digan, yo lo hago.
Well, first and foremost, I have exceptional workers, but Gregorio is one of my guys that goes above and beyond. He's always bringing ideas to me before I can even tell him what his job is. And that's what I like about him. He goes the extra step for everybody.
¿Cómo estás?
Every division that I've talked to, he's friendly, he's respectful. They all tell me he's awesome.
¿Y tu familia?
He always asks about my mom whenever I go to Brazil. I just went for Christmas.
¿Tu mami?
Está ahí.
Está en casa.
I actually wait on him to come by. You know, it's like, where's my friend? ¿Cadê mi amigo? And then when somebody else is there, and I'm like, what happened? Where's Gregorio? Is he okay? And then I'll text him back like, amigo, ¿está bien? So you're okay. It's a joy to have him.
You ready for the weekend?
Yes.
A mí me gusta trabajar en HCDE, Department of Education, porque el ambiente, cuando uno necesita un favor, te lo hacen o ayuda. Y me siento como si estuviera en mi segunda casa. Le digo, yo casi paso la mitad de mi tiempo aquí y me gusta estar conviviendo, platicando alegrías o penas a veces con mis compañeros y me gusta el ambiente. Es como si estuviera en mi casa, nada más que allá no me ponen a lavar platos. Me diagnosticaron cáncer avanzado, tienen que hacerme una operación en un riñón y de repente me dicen que necesitas hacer un copago que para mí era muy alto, pero de repente en 3-4 días tenía que hacer ese copago. Sentía que las puertas se me cerraban, sentía yo miedo, coraje, muchas cosas encontradas y de repente me habla mi antiguo jefe, Susie Brown, y hizo una colecta entre todos los compañeros jefes y de repente fue una sorpresa porque yo estaba muy deprimido y me dice mi jefa, Gregorio, ¿qué hospital es el que tienes que dar ese copago? Y fue ella a hacer el depósito y me sentí que me volvió el alma al cuerpo y gracias a Dios se hizo la operación y por eso yo considero a mi familia todo lo que es el condado Harris County Department of Education. Mi visión es seguir trabajando en este lugar y estar con mi familia aquí y eso para mí es lo más importante. Esa es mi visión, estar en un futuro hasta poder retirarme o hasta que Dios me llame.
Congratulations, Mr. Rosales. Come on up. May we have a picture with the board, please? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay, here we go. Okay, so Gregorio, let me have you, the flag tilted towards me. Like, beautiful, yes. Okay, here we go. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. Sorry about that. Hold on. Okay, yes, thank you. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. It's not responding. Let's see. Apologize. Well, I have something. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I think I have something. The end of the roll. Huh? No, it shouldn't be the end of the roll, but thank you, thank you. Yes, I think we have something.
You bet.
Yes, and once again, let's thank Mr. Rosales. Glad to have his strong work ethic and fresh ideas at this department. All right, we will now move on to agenda item 5B, which is the superintendent monthly report. Superintendent Colbert.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a couple of updates this month. First, we had rescheduled the groundbreaking ceremony for the adult ed building, I think 4 times. On Monday, we were gambling whether we should proceed with trying to have it this Thursday. I had the entire executive leadership team pull out their phones, and we needed to try to average all of our percentages to figure out what the weather was going to be on Thursday. And ultimately, just out of an abundance of caution, we decided that we were going to cancel the groundbreaking ceremony for this Thursday because we thought we weren't going to have proper weather, and we didn't want to walk around in the mud and rain. So that, I think we're not going to have another opportunity to try to do a groundbreaking ceremony, so we're just going to hold off of that and look forward to the ribbon cutting ceremony, where we will invite many more guests, including external guests, to be a part of that, so we can give them tours of the building. So just wanted to update you on that. Next, Comms has been tasked with a mission of putting together quad folds for our 5 primary pillars. And so we've just finished quad folds for therapy services. The last time I brought this up in the superintendent's report, we focused on our special schools. Our goal is to be able to have one of those for at least the 5 different pillars that we have of HCDE, but we're going to even expand that more to probably incorporate our Choice Partners division also. These are things that, you know, anybody affiliated with HCDE could pass out to people who want to know more about us. But they're quality, and every time I take them, people are very impressed with that document. 2 other things. Black History Month was this month, or is this month, and we had the opportunity to focus on some of our board members, including myself, and put together some video footage. I had the opportunity, I will say this prior to showing the video, to visit with some young people today who came and visit me and wanted to ask me a number of very personal questions. They probably got a little bit more than they wanted to know. But they were from our ABS East campus who were doing a unit on Black History Month and wanted to interview me. So it was really my privilege to be able to meet with 4 distinguished young men I don't often get to, work and engage with children anymore in my position I'm in now. And it's a pleasant break to be able to sit down with our sixth graders. So having said that, let's roll the video that we put together for this month. Well, there's been a number of people who have actually helped me get to where I'm at today. But there's one person that stands out amongst all of them. This person was the first African-American executive leader in public education I had ever met and had a profound impression on me. His name is Dr. Jim Scales. I went to him to work with him in Tennessee to learn how to become a superintendent. He was fearless. I mean, not afraid to do anything, not afraid to make any radical decision, not afraid to step in front of the mic, in front of the camera. He took problems head on. He said everything we do is about student performance, down to the custodian and every person who works in this facility. It's always about student performance, everything.
Probably one of the earlier educators that I remember making an impact on me was Miss Williams, my fifth grade teacher. She put me in every competition that could be done, from the spelling bee to even the dance competition. She pushed me in a lot of ways. And because she did, she actually had a lot of confidence in me. It pushed me towards being on the gifted and talented track. Being the first African American board president in a department that is over 130 years old is definitely a weight of responsibility. I'm glad to be a part of that story and move the HCDE story out to our community and to help uplift it.
Community service, public service is in my blood. I come from a family of public servants. I know that I am where I am today because someone believed in me, and listening to the community and what they need is what drives me, what fuels me.
Really started with Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. She's an educator and an author as well, and a lot of people would throw trash wherever they are in my neighborhood, and she said when people think they're nothing, they throw trash wherever they are. So I started 1,000,000 Feet for Clean Streets, and we would get out and clean up our communities, clean up our neighborhoods, because I was like, nah, we're more than this. We can be better, we can take pride in our community. If I can change one person and they can change the world, then I think I did a great job at leading the path and blazing the way.
I think it's a powerful thing when we have educators being involved and especially intrinsically motivated to represent an organization that represents kids, no matter what the color. And Black History Month is, the reason why we're late out here, because we've been back there telling stories in executive session, but we just...
Executive session was before the meeting
No,
started.
it wasn't executive session, it was for lunch. But we talk so much about history and how so much of our history is self-taught now, and should it be? And where we first learned more about culture and history. And so, it's a topic that's fresh on the forefront of everybody's mind right now in our society. And we'd like to keep it pure and not tainted or twisted or distorted. And so I appreciate our board members for participating in that video. And it means more to the kids than we know. I found that out this morning because I took that for granted. So Mr. Parker is going to bring in our next guest. And I want him in here when I introduce him, so I'm going to wait. Now, I'll say to the audience, some of y'all were at last month's board meeting where we had Board Appreciation Month. And during Board Appreciation Month, the board members got a special gift. And so today we're going to honor that artist who put together that gift. And so I'd like to bring him to the front of the podium, Jonathan.
All the man, too.
It's going to be all right, Chris. You're good.
Your team's coming. Your team's coming.
Christopher Morrison is the student who did all the paintings and photos of our board members, and he is a phenomenal artist, and so he did a fantastic job. I can tell you that I used to call myself an artist, and the first portrait I ever drew was of me. And when I stood on the other side of the room, my ear was the size of my forehead. That's how disproportionate it was. Chris is an extraordinary young man. And he actually assisted me with my job, because I was going to have to find a gift to give all these board members, and the gift was sitting right in front of me with one of our students. So I would like to recognize Christopher Morrison for his work and take a photo with him. Let's give him a hand.
Oh boy, there's a lot of kids clapping at once. For you, Chris. And Kids Say Flies.
They're clapping for you, Chris. Let's take a photo.
Thank you for the applause. Here, let's go take a picture, bud. Oh, be careful. Slow down. No jumping. We gotta stay. We gotta stop hopping. Okay, here. Where do you want to stand? Would you like to stand?
Come back here.
Okay, here we go. Right here, Chris. Okay. Okay, ready? 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3.
Arms down.
Okay.
Good job. Hey, can we also get one with the staff?
Sure.
As well?
Yes.
I think we got about 30 more seconds.
We'll make echoes in the room.
Well, let's wait till we get our photo, Chris, and then we can make all the echoes we want.
Okay, everybody come together. Okay, everybody come together. Okay, ma'am, on the yeah, just like that. Okay, ready? 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and okay. Okay. Got that?
A lot of echoes.
Okay, I think we're good.
We're good?
We're good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go this way. Let's go this way, Caleb. We're gonna go this way.
Where are we going? Where are we?
That way. To the door. To that door, Caleb.
Now, some of y'all may know that I'm 50 pounds ago, I used to be a former track and field guy. I was a jumper. I think Chris got talent to be a high jumper, too. He might be able to dunk the ball. So I just, once again, I can't stop celebrating that. That's how phenomenal some of our kids are. This is what makes HCDE so unique. You take a kid like that, and he makes these magnificent portraits of all of our board. And probably, Parker, how long did you give him? You give him a month? Okay. I don't think he paid him anything either. Didn't even give him a but it's just awesome. And I appreciate the board. I appreciate Chris, his parents. I appreciate AB East. It's just awesome to have him do that. So that's all I have, sir.
Right. Well, that was a lot. That was a lot in that report. So thank you very much. with regards to, well, a couple of things too. Thank you, and again, thank you for everybody in AB East and AB West and all of our schools for what you do, because that is actually what we do. And thank you also for the Black History Program. Couple things. One thing to note, I actually thought was very interesting when we were talking about history. I recently heard that, for those who are unfamiliar, Black History Month started as Negro Week in the 1920s. And one of the reasons that it came about was because there was a lot going on at the time. For those who know history, this was right after Birth of a Nation and some other things that came out with propaganda that was not very flattering for black people, and there's a lot of lynchings going on. And Carter G. Woodson, who founded Negro Week, was basically thought that the premise was that if nobody knows the contributions of a certain groups of people, they would just think that they were worth exterminating. And similar to Trustee Brown's point of view, you shouldn't just be willing to throw groups out like trash. So Negro Week got started and became Negro Black History Month. Ideally, we would get more of it in our actual history books, and that's, you know, it didn't have to be, but in the meantime, it's always good. And I think one of the points that I heard recently saying that we're actually at an interesting time now talking about history, but there's a lot of similarities that happen even now. So it's definitely something we should all continue to embrace. It's all American history, and it's all part of our story. So thank you. And also, one other thing I would like to say, thankfully, after I posted the story about Miss Williamson, my sister, I was wondering what happened, and actually while I was being filmed, I was asked, is she still alive? Well, I didn't realize my little sister actually was in class with her daughter. So as soon as I posted on social media, my sister said, "By the way, Maureen, you see my brother has a story about your mom." And lo and behold, Miss Williamson, she's doing fine. But I got a chance to just thank her social medially, and all that 31 years ago when I had her as a teacher, that she pushed me. And I remember my scores in math went to like the 9th grade level. I was in 5th grade, and I scored like a 9th grade level in the math portion of the Iowa test, which was the standardized test in Illinois at the time. So, and educators like that are what remind me how important education is, because that's how that pushes us to be who we are today. So thank you for the gift, and thank you for all that you do, because that you never know. 31 years later, you guys might get a social media post and say, "Hey, thank you for impacting me," because now I'm going to Chris and maybe saying, "Hey, I'm doing this particular thing." So, however, I just want to say thank you for what you do, and continue to do what you do, so we can continue to make history in this department. All right, on to agenda item 5C, which is the annual division update on construction by Director Joe Carrion.
Good afternoon, members of the board. How's everybody doing? All right, I'm Joe Carrion, Construction Director for HCDE. We fall under Facility Support Services, and our Executive Director is Rich Vela. And so who we are is Thomas Platt, who's our Fixed Assets Clerk. He's been with us for 27 years. Albert Valadez, who's the Environmental Specialist. He's been with us for 20 years, and myself, I've been with this organization for 4 years. And what we do is our Fixed Asset Clerk performs the capital inventory, and he creates the annual inventory worksheets for each division, maintains all the records of fixed assets, and coordinates the disposal of equipment. Our environmental specialist performs fire and safety inspections for all the buildings for HCDE, maintains asbestos records, maintains HASCOM program, and performs playground inspections. This is key because we have a number of facilities with playgrounds that we're starting to update. And myself, I'm the liaison for the architects, engineers, and consultants to develop and finalize construction documents. I also develop budget estimates, assist with land acquisition, due diligence, evaluate formal bids, recommendations for awarding contracts, oversee construction projects, and everybody's favorite, other duties as assigned. So our goal is to provide service and support to all HCDE buildings by collaborating with fellow coworkers to understand and fulfill the needs of each individual division. One of our last completed projects was the LaPorte Early Head Start expansion. We converted 3 Head Start classrooms into 4 Early Head Start classrooms, a shared office suite, a conference room, and a office for a center manager. So this progression of demolition and fully furnished. Some of our current projects, ABS East, which was scheduled to be completed October 24th of this year. Our Coolwood Head Start project, proposed completion date of June of next year. Conference Center upgrades, which were scheduled to complete in the summer of this year. Our Barrett Station Early Head Start project, our proposed completion date is December of this year. And Humble Early Head Start expansion, which is scheduled to be completed in December of this year. So this is, it's been a really rainy season this year. So ABS East, some of our aerial photos. This is the sensory room for ABS East. The theme is rainforest, very similar to ABS West. Here's our playground. And so this is one of our future projects. And I'm sharing this picture because Vanita and I worked very hard to come up with this idea for what we envisioned for Coolwood Head Start. And so her and I worked many late nights to come up with this sketch. And this is the actual sketch that we turned into Health and Human Services. And so this is what it's looking like today. Very similar in format and layout. And do we have time for a 2-minute video? Here we go. So this is the video for Coolwood Head Start, scheduled to begin construction this summer. And so some of our ideas for this and our vision for this is, go with a more natural look. We've got the wood, the faux wood finish on the ceiling, on the inside and on the outside. There's our lobby. And so this will be the center manager's office. And it was key to get the center manager positioned where she can see visitors coming in and visitors leaving the building. So as an example of the furniture that's been selected for this project. And so now we're going into the conference room. This is the conference room for the staff at HCDE for all the Coolwood staff and for all their meetings with parents and whatnot. So lots of space. This is a slow video, but it's no. So now we're going to go back into the lobby. And so we created this little library nook, and we're able to get this natural looking tree in the library where kids can come in and share stories, read books. Again, this is a Head Start building, so this will be pre-K age group. Secured entrance into the classroom wings. Observation windows. And another example of the furniture that's been selected for the classrooms. So we have a total of 6 classrooms, I believe, And what we're doing is making sure that we stick with the cool wood theme with the natural look. And so some of the trends that we're seeing, of course, everyone's been seeing the increase in cost on materials. Materials such as structural steel, commercial roofing materials, and paint have been going up significantly. We've all read the news where manufacturing plants are shutting down, logistical issues, and these low interest rates have increased the construction significantly. So some of the rising energy costs also increase the higher manufacturing costs. So we're going to continue to see that throughout the year, and all these impact our projects. Any questions?
Oh, excuse me. I see that it's the building's a little bit elevated because I know there's a ravine right behind it, right over in that area. I've driven by it once. I live on the east side, and I think I was happening to be getting gas. I said, wait a minute, isn't that Coolwood? So yeah, I'm that person. I drive. I see HCDE landmark, and I'll just drive by it on my random time if I happen to be over there. So yeah, but I guess does that help?
Yes, sir. So City of Houston is requiring us to elevate the building basically about 5-6 feet above natural grade.
Okay.
So yes, sir, it'll be definitely above the flood zone.
Joe, talk a little bit about some of our challenges that we've been experiencing with all the construction as far as permitting, working with the city and the county for inspectors, and how that's impacted some of our timelines.
Absolutely. So, there's a shortage of staff and plan review for City of Houston currently. And then also a lot of the staff has been working from home. Communication's been off and on. So absolutely, there's, it used to take three to 6 months to get a project through permitting. Currently, we're about 6 months plus.
And so the significance of that is there are projects where we're a month behind already. We've got materials, everybody's ready to go, but we cannot move because of permitting.
Correct, yes,
Like
sir.
everything stops until we can get that. And we talk about all the time how you lose a month on the front end, that's like a month and a half on the back end. And we're seeing some of that happening already with our adult ed. And so that's been a point of frustration for the administration. I don't know what the solution is to resolve it, but it's a problem that we're going to experience with every project we have. And we've muscled through it with kind of AB East.
Yes, sir. We just got to stay tenacious. I think every time we think we see the light at the end of the tunnel, there's another curve we got to go around and figure out a different avenue. So we definitely got to get creative and tenacious with the city.
But so Joe's got his hands full. We have a number of projects, and certainly we're also utilizing the leadership of LAN to facilitate some projects. But Joe's got plenty between Head Start and AB East to keep up with, and then Equine around the corner. So
Yes,
we
sir.
appreciate your work. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. We'll now move on. We'll now move on to agenda item 5D, annual division update for adult education by Director Stephanie Ross.
Good afternoon, President Norris, Board Trustees, and Superintendent Colbert. I'm Stephanie Ross. I'm the Senior Director of Adult Education. Before we get started with the presentation today, I would like to, as soon as I figure this out, excuse me, guys. There we go. I would like to introduce my team. You guys, would you stand? So who we have today, we have Angie DeLeon, she's a program manager. We have Bridget Bentley, she's our budget and compliance officer. We have Linda Fiocco, she's the director. We have May O'Brien, she's a program manager. We have Denise Johnson, program manager. Who is not here is Bill Medina, program manager. Dr. Yashu Rao, program coordinator, and my secretary, Janie. So, thank you. Last Friday, Superintendent Colbert caught me as I was actually running out the building to prepare for my daughter's birthday. But he said, let me ask you, Ms. Ross, are we still the largest program in the state? I just want to be sure before I, tell everyone. And I said, we absolutely are. But what he didn't ask me, were we the best program in the state? And so I like to say we are. So, well, I want to confirm that, and I want to also confirm, there you go. So I want to say that it is adult ed season. I feel like it's adult ed season. Do you feel like it's adult ed season? Okay, so we are the best program. So, what was that? Okay, we're going to get our building, don't worry. It's coming. So I want to transition to a video that we prepared this year. In the past, I've stood up here amongst you and recited a lot of things and gone over the slides, but you guys have those slides, but I really want to show this video, and I'm really excited about it.
In Harris County, 1 in 3 of our adult citizens is considered low functionally illiterate. They struggle to find employment and perform daily tasks because they read below a basic level. In the Adult Education Division of Harris County Department of Education, our mission has always been to provide education and resources to break the cycle of poverty and empower each and every one of our students with the skills and tools they need to live a great life.
Our program addresses the racial and ethnic disparities in education, earnings, employment, and other related outcomes for communities. Our goal is to be the catalyst for lifelong learning that creates opportunities that lead to financial independence. The skills learned in our program influence health and well-being. Without this free programming, many individuals and families are subject to becoming a statistic.
We are proud of our many achievements over the past year. Every day, we've actively served our community to raise literacy in our adult population by offering a wide range of literacy and workshop programs. Our basic literacy services assist in important areas such as English, high school equivalency, and citizenship. Our workforce certification training prepares adults for careers in many fields like nursing, medical administration, marketing, and business. Our workforce training offers safety education, communication, and advanced skills and training. We've worked hard to bring these high-quality programs to Harris County, and our students rose to the challenge. Our 2020-2021 highlights includes 4,109 participants, 765 participant citizenship, 483 workforce certificates, 236 employees upskilled, 148 English language workforce certificates, are just to name a few. We also partner with community-based organizations, schools, and other industry professionals to promote social and holistic inclusion throughout our programs. We are also proud of our teachers and their commitment to their own professional development. Last year, 275 employees completed 6,100 hours of professional development, in which they received TWC eligibility credentials, 12-month Community of Excellence Enrichment certificates, and trained in virtual learning tools. Our teachers also experienced a 2-day leadership retreat, which improved productivity by 30% and built effective teams. Our teacher learning communities strengthened peer cross-training and built personal growth, plus our monthly teacher spotlights helped improve morale. Results shows that our adult education division is making an impact and changing lives. We've laid the foundation for lifelong learning that is empowering students to create new opportunities. But we're just getting started. We're excited to announce that next year, Harris County will have a new state-of-the-art multi-purpose continuing education center. This, along with the generous investment of our Board of Trustees, will allow us to extend our reach and serve more people. In the year to come, we'll be adding more services and offering more industry-recognized certification programs. This will go a long way towards reversing the racial and ethnic disparities in education, income, and employment. We are excited for the future and look forward to bringing more education, opportunity, and hope to the adults of Harris County.
Thank you. Thank you. So I want to fast forward to some statistics, and you saw it in the video, but the conversation, tagging along with the conversation that Superintendent Colbert and I had last Friday, is the numbers, right? And so as you can see, COVID definitely impacted our performance in terms of the capacity or the number of students that we've been able to reach. In years past, we've had up to 10,000 students, right? Obviously, we were not able to reach those students through the technology and other issues related to COVID, but I do want to highlight some things that are very important, and it'll lend itself to a discussion about the trends. We are providing more workforce certificates, we are upskilling more students, and we have 100% of our students involved in distance learning, which is really important, as you guys know. So and again, it is adult ed season, because with the new building, we're hoping to fill that building up with at least 4,100 students, not including the other locations. But we still have a need to get into the community. So this year, in the next couple of weeks, we'll be opening up 5 locations. So excited to be finally getting back to business. A couple of trends. So we have to meet targets. Obviously, we're goal to reach out to the community and have as many participants as possible, but we want to take it a step further. So it's really important for our program to see the end result. So student employment is high on our target this year and going forward. Actually, we're piloting some programs with HCAC, our grantor, so that we can actually come up with a standard operating practice to embed contact to careers, and you'll hear more about that in the months to come, where we're actually teaching and training our students, but more importantly, we're partnering with employers to find our students jobs. And so that's much different than years past. If they're not wanting to go to work, they can go to higher education. We have some partnerships with a couple of community colleges and universities and some programs that will help with that as well. Questions?
Talk a little bit about workforce development and the direction we're trying to head in with that.
Sure. So workforce development, all of our students, and I'll say it again, you'll hear more about it, contact to career. So we are, from the moment the students enter into our program, we are trying to guide them all the way through to a career. So within the program, they are actually able to select a workforce certificate amongst the ones you saw in the video and the ones that we've had in the past: allied health programs, construction programs, technology programs, customer service programs, just to name a few. So it's embedded in the program. This allows the students to have a credential, a recognized credential to go to work if they so choose, or they can parlay that and to go into college.
And I think you should also expand a little bit. Y'all have had to be, so adult ed has had to be incredibly agile because of COVID. I mean, we're dealing with a population who is not always the most technically savvy or has access to the type of technology. One of the things that many superintendents realized when COVID hit and we started doing remote learning is all this time we thought kids, because they're on Facebook, Twitter, all those other things, that they had computers at home, when really we found out this was their computer. And so when it came time for it to actually educate them and they had to make a Word document or something like that, they couldn't do it through the capacity of their phone. Some of them didn't even have internet access. They had cellular access. And so we've seen our numbers diminish. COVID has hit our adult ed enrollment hard, but adult ed has been agile in adjusting to that and going out to the people and to do remote learning. And so now it's time to start bringing them back into the fold, but you know, we got to keep on watching what goes on with COVID also. So
Sure.
I think that's an important point.
That's exactly right, Superintendent. We were able to work with the students, and you're 100% correct. Using the mobile units, we've actually had to train our teachers. We can't assume that everyone knew how to use the technology, Zoom, Microsoft Teams. So we're ready and anxious to get back into the buildings when it's appropriate.
Director Ross, I saw the part that you said that you were partnering with some institutions of higher education. Which ones are you looking at?
The community colleges, Lone Star, HCC, Wharton College, and a couple of proprietary schools as well.
Okay, and I say that too because I've had some discussions with a couple of trustees at some of these, like I know a couple of trustees at HCC and some other parts, but the point being, I would love to have further discussion because I would love to tap on them to say, hey, let's put some money towards this because this, the money, we're the ones that approve budgets, so and especially big initiatives. So I would love to discuss this further with Superintendent Colbert and other and yourself to kind of figure out what we can do to help put some pressure on those other trustees to help make that a priority and not just HCD is trying to do this. No, everybody's trying to do this. So let's figure out how we can create a pipeline. So
absolutely,
love to hear more about this.
Well, I'd just like to say I appreciate you and your staff, and I'm happy that we are still the largest adult education program.
And the best.
Apparently the best. So thank you so much. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Oh, sorry, Trustee Cantu.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Ross, for that report. I see here the number of participants, and then there's a smaller number of our students that are actually receiving certificates or preparing for the citizenship exam. How long does it usually take them once they come in to pass that citizenship test?
It is always, based on the participants' time and where they are. We like to track them for a year. And again, it's kind of based on them, but what our methodology is to have as much contact with them as possible within a week. So a minimum of 9 hours a week is what they commit to in the classroom or virtual classroom, and then also their tools that they can use guided by themselves.
Mm-hmm. So like I see 765 participants, and then 129 of them qualified for the exam and the interviews. So the rest of those, they're just continuing on.
They're continuing
until they
on.
pass. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What about the English? Where did I see that at? The English language certification. Is
So
there
those
is there
are
a time frame for
workforce.
that?
Typically 4 to 6 weeks. 4 to 6 weeks. A minimum of 40 weeks, a maximum of 60 weeks. I'm sorry, 40 hours, a maximum of 60 hours.
And that
to get a
and
certificate.
that's enough to get them
Yes.
speaking at the level to do well in their work.
Right, and obviously we do a pre and a post test. There are some qualifications for those. All of the students that enter into the workforce development programs, you have to have a Social Security number. We like to look at the levels so that they can become successful and pass the certification exams and go to work. So, depends on eligibility.
Trustee Duhan just passed me a note here, and it's something I've been thinking about as well. Are we connected or have partnerships with any of the labor unions that have the apprenticeship programs?
We do. Actually, not the labor unions, but we do have some apprenticeship programs in the works with some of the construction organizations. In fact, we were just contacted on yesterday by, we actually had a meeting with another organization focused on electricians for an apprenticeship program. So we have not really tapped into the labor for construction, but the SEIU is a labor organization for hospitality.
All right. Well, with that, I would just encourage, you and your staff to reach out, and then we may have some contacts if
we can
need
make some
help.
connections if y'all would like to set up a meeting. That'd
Yes.
be great.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Director Ross? Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we will have other reports from board members concerning attendance or participation in board or HCDE-related conference, event, activity, or committee, accolades for HCDE staff member or other deserving person. Does anybody have anything? Okay, I will just say that since the last meeting, I got a chance to go to TAPSI, which is the Texas Association for of us. It's another A in there I'm missing.
TAPC.
Texas Association of Area Black School Educators. I think there's Area Black School. So anywho, I'm sorry. It's a lot. I'm sorry. The HAPSI president is in the back, and she's shaking her head. No, I got it wrong. I'm jacking up. Sorry, y'all. Well, I say that.
Whisper to him.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm loud and wrong up here. I got a chance to go to the conference in Dallas. It wasn't last week. It was 2 weeks ago. Up through last weekend. Had a great time. HCDE was very well represented. I went to a couple of sessions that were led by some HCDE members of HCDE staff on a number of topics. All of the great things. So it was awesome. Director Andrews is actually our local affiliate president. So there was a whole flocking from the Houston area that were giving her praises throughout the whole conference. So HCD, I was just saying that HCD was well represented. I was glad to be there. I was glad to be able to participate. I know you guys do awesome stuff all the time. I'm just glad when I can go witness it in person. Usually we kind of come up here once a month and we kind of hear about it, but it's always great to go see, especially doing things in the community. There was a Wakanda night. There was a gala where it was African attire. I said Wakanda. It was somewhere between Wakanda and Zamunda. That's how I felt. I should have got more pictures, but I felt very. But it was an awesome event, awesome HCD presentations, awesome event all the way around. So kudos to all of us who were able to participate. From Superintendent Colbert was there, Dr. Rogers was there, Director Ross was there, Director Andrews, and a number of other people were there. So great job on those who were out, who made it there. So I felt very good sitting there when they said, yeah, that's our board member. And I was like, yeah, they're up there representing. So I like to see y'all represent. So. Okay, off my soapbox. On to item 5F, report of board committee chairs. Any reports from any board committee chairs? I don't think so. Okay, all right. Moving on to agenda item 5G, monthly financial reports from Dr. Jesus Amesqua.
Okay, the financial highlights as of January 31st, all our information is posted on our website. The balance sheet for January 31st is, I need to get my glasses on this one, $35,798,708, liabilities of $2,180,318, and our equity of $35,798,708. Our fund balance was updated last month with our annual report. We have a fund balance as of January 31st of $32,532,090, of which $7,534,461 are taxes that we've received early in the year and that we'll use for the rest of the year. So that's why our fund balance is higher at this time of the year. Our benchmark indicators, number of ratios. Our first one is percent fund balance to general fund expenditures ratio. We're at 78% versus 97% last year. Our working capital ratio, we're at 34 million versus $43 million last year at the same time. Our unassigned fund balance ratio, we're at 47% versus 43% last year. We're a debt to income ratio, we're at 2.7% versus 3% last year, so it's maintaining that debt to income ratio as of this month. Our tax revenue to total revenue ratio, we're at 35% as of January, 14% the same last year. Indirect cost ratio, we're at 2% the same as the year before. Our fee-for-service ratio revenue, we're at 28%, 14% last year, so a little bit higher now. And then our growth, our revenues are not growing. We're at minus 9% on our fee for service ratio versus 6% negative last year. Again, a lot of that is the COVID-19 impact. Our fund balance activity for the month, we have previous amendments of $1,086,300. For this month, year to date as of January, we have a general fund that we're at 47% versus 42% the fiscal year has lapsed. Overall, we're at 31% for all funds. In our expenditures or outflows, we're at 36% versus 42%. So even though our revenues are not coming in as previously, so far our expenditures are lower than projected. Our COVID-19 expenditures, we still have $464,388 as of January 31st, and $1,442,526 for COVID-19 from Head Start from the HHS grants. Donations for the month were $7,805.75, primarily from some divisions like technology, a total of $7,805 donations for our monthly lunch and learn projects. Our collections for the year as of January, we're at $519 billion. We started the year with $521 billion. So far, we're at $519 billion, and so we'll look at where we're going to end up in August of this year. So if everything goes well, then we'll have additional revenue, or we will have less levy at the end of the year to collect by approximately $135,000 than the year before. In terms of our collections, December was a big month. About $7 million collected year to date, $14 million so far. So we're at 54% for the year in terms of our budget to actual. When you compare this to last year, we're a little bit ahead. We're at 54.9% versus 49.2% from last year. So our taxes are coming in the month of December and January as well. So February, you'll see another big chunk coming in. Our disbursement for checks for the year, we're at $3,905,192. We have 409 checks, 466 transactions, and 6 transfers. And all the detail is posted on our website and also part of your monthly packet. In our segment information, we have educational certification. We have a negative variance of $158,379. Records management, $372,352. Most of these divisions are, some of the revenues are about a month behind because of the billing. We have to close down the month, so therefore that's why you see some of those negatives. Therapy services, $1,242,205. Schools at $755,890. And then you have choice that's at a ratio of 59% or a benefit variance of $1,422,159. Our amendments for the month, we have some amendments that don't have any impact on our fund balance. And then we also have some grants totaling that we received in the amount of $1,537,492. In the general fund, the first one, we're just moving from one account to another, basically $137,000 for TLC. We're moving some of the line items between the divisions. Again, there's a negative. There's a zero impact to revenues and expenses. In human resources and power school as well, just moving monies from one account to another. There's no impact to fund balance. Special revenues, we did get a new grant of $1.5 million from, and there's an agenda item right now with County Connections, 1.5. We have the revenues carry forward for a project to Texas Commission Education Quality, $33,425. And then we have a carryover of Head Start of $4,067. In our Education Foundation update, we have, as of January, we have $1,056,446. We have revenues of $8,000 received, and then we have expenses of $30, a monthly recurring charge that we have. And this is the detail. The next is our update on revenue projects, PFC lease revenue projects. We continue with the small business program for construction. As soon as the new projects are let out, we will update those programs. As of January 31st, we have $46,727,079, of which maintenance notes make up $14,950,861, and PFC makes up $31,778,718. In our percentage of year-to-date expenditures, AB East is at 8%, 4% is High Point East, 6% adult ed. 12% is adult ed, and then we also had the Irvington cost in there as well as 4%. This is the capital project that was adopted in August 3rd, 2020. We continue with that project. And as Mr. Carrion mentioned earlier, some of the projects that are going on with Barrett Station and Humboldt Head Start, in the department. That's the first report for the highlights. Any questions on that before I go to the investments?
Yeah, Dr. Mesco, I think it was either page 6 or 7. Can't remember what the category was, but the current year was at 34% versus last year at 43%.
It's revenue budget to actual? Oh, here. I believe it's 36 versus 42.
Was it looked like the other page you had up just a second ago.
COVID maybe?
It was where the percentages were at the bottom. Yeah, one of those.
Okay.
Maybe page 6 or 7.
Page.
There it is.
Okay.
Working capital.
Yes. That's just because we have not received the taxes just yet. The taxes are a lot of the fee-for-service revenue are going to be received later on, so our assets are higher at that point in time. This is a temporary time because we had $35 million received as of that time, and we only have $2 million in liabilities. But primarily, it's pretty much around the $40 million range, depending on when we get our revenues. But at the same time, last year we were at $43 million because we had received a little bit more fee-for-service revenue at that time.
Okay. So there's nothing to be concerned about.
Oh no, nothing to be concerned. It's just a temporary shift in our cash, where our cash moves. Yes, sir. The next one is our investment report. And all our information is, this one is as of January 31st, 2022, following the Public Funds Investment Act. And our portfolio is 81,228,703. Our PFC is 28,940,628. Our investments are primarily in Lone Star, 43%, Chase, 6%, Texas Glass, 18%, Texas Star, 23%, TexPool, 12%, a total of $52,228,074 for the HCDE portfolio. As far as the PFC, we have 28,940,628. 97% of that is in the TexPool, and 3% is in Bank of Texas. The portfolio from 1 year to the next, we have a difference of 49,354,460, primarily because of the capital projects, of the money that we receive for capital projects. All our funds are overnight, and we've received so far 2,874 in interest for HCDE. For PFC, we have 4,330, and we are earning an average of 0.023 versus 0.005 that the pools are we are earning in the pools. And you see here that the rates continue to go down. There was a prediction that the rates may go up in May. There was some earlier prediction that maybe March, but there's a couple of variables, if you will. The first one is the CPI, which is the inflation factor, and then the other thing is a conflict in the Russia conflict going on right now. Those are probably affecting the market, and so those rates are probably not going to be changing anytime soon because of that. Although you will see those rates go up over time. That's the report for investments. Any questions that you may have? Nope. The next item that you have before you is our two awards that we received. One is the PAFR, and you have the most recent PAFR report that's in your packet. This is for 2021. Our communications department assisted and provided the information, and they have copies for you in your packet. We will have it printed and published. And also the budget award that we received for last year, 2020, actually for 2022. So that's the first one for this year that we will be receiving. So those are the next two items. Any questions that you may have? Nope. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mesqua. All right, so we will now move on to agenda item 6, the action items consensus list. Does any board members have any items from the consensus agenda that they want to move to the non-consensus agenda? Oh, Trustee Duhan?
So I want to ask a question about C2, so I want to pull that. I just want to know. Okay. That's fine.
Okay, so C2, there's a question on C2. Any other items we want clarity on before we vote on it? Okay, you want to vote separately on E1? All right, so we want to pull E1. Yeah. E is an elephant one? Yes. Any other items? All right, seeing it's E1, so E1, E4, and E6. All right. And so we want E1, E4, and E6 to be moved to the non-consensus agenda. And we need some clarity on C2 before moving for a vote.
I just want to know what the selection criteria is.
Good
Sure.
afternoon, everybody.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right.
You need a motion in a second, and you're going to ask all.
All right.
Oh.
So, okay, so you might as well just stay there because we're about to get to you. So, okay, if there's no other, there are no other items other than E1, 4, and 6 to be pulled, and we will, is there a motion for that? It's been moved by trustee Cantu. Is there a second?
Seconded.
Seconded by trustee Duhan. Now, discussion, and we will get clarity on C2.
Just asking what the criteria is, please.
Selection criteria is a requirement of the Head Start performance standards. We are required to do a community assessment every 5 years and an update annually. And from that, we have to review it and look at how we prioritize how students come into the program. And so we have students that are categorically eligible, so they have very high numbers, but the rest is based on our community assessment. There's points based on their status or each area. And then it goes into the computer, and the computer spits out a prioritization list, and we have to bring students in based on that.
Okay. Any other questions? All right. Seeing none, are we ready for a vote? So we will, all in favor of,
I'm so sorry, just one quick clarification. At your desk, you have this heavily stapled interlocal agreement. This is for item E9. The one that's in the backup was a draft, and this is the final version that we just finalized yesterday.
okay,
Just wanted to make sure y'all were aware.
so this pertains to E9.
Correct.
All right. Questions or discussion before moving to vote for all except E1, 4, and 6? Seeing none, we'll move for a vote. All in favor? Passes unanimously. All right.
Just to comment that E9, it is a grant. It's an interlocal, but it is a pass-through grant, and so we will handle it as a grant.
All right. We will now move to the non-consensus agenda, starting with.
You got to pull Cantu's items.
Yeah, starting with the ones that were pulled from the consensus agenda. I'm trying to find my place. All right, so starting with the ones that were pulled from the consensus agenda, item E1, ratification of interlocal contract for fiscal year 22, case for Kids Partnership Grant. That's E1. Is there a motion?
So moved.
All right, it's been moved by trustee Duhan. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by trustee Cantu. Discussion. Trustee Cantu?
Yeah, I've just, this is obviously a charter school. I'm not familiar with it. I don't know. Dr. Carruthers, if you can tell us if this is a new partnership or is this an existing?
Our partnership project is, this is our tax base that we grant out for after school,
and all eligible charters and school districts are eligible to apply annually. And so this road school has applied in the past. This is not the first time. We are ratifying these interlocals because they go to their process and they often come later, but this program has been with us in the past as well. But they go through a RFP process, they apply, they get scored, they get awarded.
I pulled them up and I see there's several locations. Is this for a particular location?
Yes,
Do you
it
know
is for-
which location it's for?
This one is in the Humble area, but I don't have the address on here. Let's see. To dig into the contract to find the actual address of this location. So we have two. They're Road School for the Performing Arts in Humble and Road School for the Performing Arts as well in North Shore are the two locations, each receiving $27,050.
Okay, so it's for two locations.
Two co-locations.
Total of?
$27,050 each.
Yeah, so 155 students, so about 75 or 80.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, obviously I want more after-school programs everywhere we can get them, you know, the more partnerships, the better. I'm just, in general, concerned that we may be helping to subsidize, you know, what I see as kind of unfair competition between charter schools and our neighborhood public schools. I just want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to make sure that those neighborhood schools that are in the struggling neighborhoods have these support programs for our kids.
So on the positive is that we are getting ready to release very soon with the purchasing department our partnership RFP for next fiscal year. And so we will be circulating that and we'll get that information out to you guys as board members as well to help get this out into the broadest community. Honestly, in this cycle due to COVID, everybody that applied got funding. That is not always the case. This is because of COVID. Our number of applicants did reduce because of the rescue funds going to the public school districts. There is earmarked after-school funds that are coming out of the rescue dollars. So some of our school district applicants in this cycle did not apply because they have chosen to use that federal temporary fund. They will come back into our fold, maybe not even this year, but the next year as that federal rescue money goes away. But there is a significant amount of money going towards after school and the rescue, which is really nice. But when we have our ongoing routine tax base that's investing, you know, I keep saying to the school districts, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. We're going to be here with you when the rescue money's gone. And so we need to make sure that this RFP is promoted and the districts continue to apply. But they are doing a different balancing act right now.
With that said, if I can just add, if you are aware of any programs, new programs that are brought on with that ARPA funds that may be in jeopardy of not being funded, let us know so that we can put some extra resources so that we can maintain those programs going forward.
And we are relaunching a fiscal scan, knowing that this landscape is changing. We usually do it every 5 years, but we are doing one right now so that we can see and map all the programs, not just the ones we fund, but the broader community and where they are and where they're getting their money.
I just want to echo your sentiment that I think it's important to ensure that we are covering all of the assistance that would be needed for our public schools. I don't want to have students who are at these charter schools currently go without something that is assisting them and their families. But I want to make sure that it is clear that it is important to me that we are supporting our public schools first and foremost.
Any other questions on item E1? Seeing none, we'll move for a vote. All in favor? Passage unanimously. All right, moving on to item E4, approval for interlocal expenditure contract for fiscal year 2022, case for kids, Nita M. Laurie, 21st Century Community Learning Centers, cycle 10, year 4 grant in the aggregate amount of $122,000. All right, it's been moved by trustee Cantu.
Seconded.
Seconded by trustee Duhan. Any discussion? Same. Oh, okay. So no more questions. All in favor? Passes unanimously. Item E6, ratification of interlocal expenditure contract for fiscal year 2022, case for kids. Nita M. Laurie, 21st Century Community Learning Center, year 1 grant in the aggregate amount of $42,000. It's been moved by trustee Cantu, seconded by trustee Duhan. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Passed unanimously. All right, on to agenda item, if I can get there. 7.1, consider the first reading of the following revised local policies. BJA, CB, CE, CFD, CFD, CH, CQB, DEC, DFE, DP, FFG, FL. Now, Sarah, correct me if I'm wrong. We don't actually read them.
There's no motion, just if there's any questions.
Yes. Are there any questions for agenda item 7.1? Seeing none.
And I'd just like to point out, President Norris, we did have a subcommittee meeting and discussed all these items.
Right. And do we have to vote on this?
Not this one. You'll see this for second reading and final approval at the April board meeting.
Okay, so yeah, so we won't have to vote on this. No questions? All right, seeing none, we will just move on to agenda item 7.2. Consider approval to reschedule the regular June 22nd board meeting from June 15th, 2022 to June 22nd, 2022.
Well, just real quick, I'd like to point out that the purpose of moving that meeting is because we have the summer board training at the Summer Leadership Institute in San Antonio that's on the board date. So we'd like to have this meeting the following week because that's a very, very good conference for our all school trustees throughout the state.
All right. All right. Been moved by trustee Cantu, seconded by trustee Duhan. Any discussion? All in favor? All right, passes unanimously. Agenda item 7.3, consider approval of assistant principal substitute rate for 2021-2022 school year. Is there a motion? Moved by trustee Cantu. Is there a second? Second by trustee Duhan. Any discussion? Seeing, well, actually, is this something, I guess, I just asked the question, is this something new? I guess this is nothing really new, right?
Currently, we have substitute rates for teachers, educational aides. In the event we need to have someone fill in for an assistant principal, which we have in the past, we don't have a sub rate available to bring someone in. So it's just kind of planning for the future in the event we have someone absent and need to pull in a sub. We would like to add it to our salary schedule.
That works. Any other questions? Seeing none, move for a vote. All in favor? Passes unanimously. On to agenda item 7.4. Consider approval to purchase the Frog Street Press LLC curriculum by Choice Partners Contract 18/058 KC-12. It's been moved by trustee Cantu, seconded by trustee Duhan. Any discussion? Seeing none. All in favor? All right. Passes unanimously. Item 7.5, consider approval to submit a grant budget revision in the amount of $136,150 to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Is there a motion? Moved by trustee Cantu. Is there a second? Seconded by trustee Brown. He said it in his loudest voice.
4 seconds.
Yeah, he's seconded 4 times. All right, any discussion? All right, seeing none. All in favor? Passes unanimously. All right, agenda item 7.6, consider approval of the project delivery contract method of competitive sealed proposal for the Coolwood Head Start new campus construction. Been moved by trustee Cantu.
Second.
Seconded on the mic by trustee Brown. Any discussion? Seeing none. All in favor? Passes unanimously. Agenda item 7.7, consider approval of AIA G802 amendment to the professional services agreement with English and Associates Architects in the amount of $4,000. This is for Head Start. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Has been moved by trustee Brown, seconded by trustee Cantu. Any discussion? Oh, question from trustee Cantu?
So this is an amendment to the original contract. Just wondering what that is for.
Yes, sir, Mr. Cantu. So what we're doing with this project is we've decided to do the demolition early outside of the CSP, the competitive sealed proposal, which was just approved. And we're needing to extract the demolition plans and specifications from the general new construction CSP that we have. And so there's quite a bit of coordination between the engineers and the architects, so that when we go out to bid, which we're hoping to go out to bid in April for this project, the contractors aren't bidding on the demolition of that school.
I remember now. Thank you.
Yes, sir. And we're actually planning on demoing that school tomorrow, I think.
Thank
you. Any other questions on the agenda item 7.7? Seeing none, we'll move for a vote. All in favor? All right, motion passes. You can go forward. Consider approval of the job order contract method of procurement with Nash Industries. Is there a motion? Moved by trustee Duhan. Is there a second? Second by trustee Brown. Any discussion?
Yes.
Trustee Duhan?
Is this HVAC?
Question is this a HVAC that we've discussed before?
There is some HVAC involved with the conference center, but it's also the partitions that are associated with blocking off the room, so it would be that and the HVAC systems together.
All right. Any other questions? Seeing none, all in favor? Passes unanimously. Last agenda item on the non-consensus agenda is to consider adoption of the resolution concerning emergency administrative leave with pay. It's been moved by trustee Cantu. Is there a second?
Okay.
Seconded by trustee Brown. Any discussion? All right, seeing none, we'll move it for a vote. All in favor? Passes unanimously. All right, it is now 2:46, and we will move into executive session under the Texas Government Code pursuant to any and all purposes permitted by sections 551.01 to 551.08, included but not limited to 551.071 and 551.074. All right, out of executive session. So, yeah. By the way, the board is going to relocate, so if anybody, y'all don't have to stay, but just letting y'all know, I know there's been, we're now moving to the small room for anybody who's interested in staying. You guys can, if anybody needs we are reconvening at 3:45, and that we move on to agenda item 10, which is discussion and possible action regarding future agenda items. Any future agenda items? Seeing none, we will move on past 11 informational items to item 12 to adjourn. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. It's been moved by Trustee Cantu. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Brown on the mic. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? All right, we will end the meeting at 3:45 as well. All right.